So B2B e-commerce is not the same as B2C e-commerce. We have said this before, but we are going to recap it again just for the sake of it. And if you think you can do a large-scale enterprise B2B e-commerce by simply removing the VAT and have an organization number, that's not good enough. So what are the biggest differences? 5 biggest. You start.
We keep nagging about this because we keep hearing on town that some people really don't get this. So this needs to be addressed again. And the top 5 reasons, as you said, Helena. The first one from us being the rules or the organization as a part of the system, because as a consumer, you have certain needs and you buy for yourself or for family, etc. But as a purchaser or procurement, as from a company, you probably have like a manager that has to approve certain order volumes, etc. So it's a totally different role as a B2B buyer than as a consumer.
Yeah. One thing that differs is legislation. If you sell to private persons, there are certain laws and regulations in each country you have to comply with. But this does not count when you sell to organizations. Organizations, there could be other laws, or most of all, in your agreements with the other companies, they could say that you cannot allow them to place an order at your system if they don't provide a purchase order number, for example. So there are different legislations happening.
Or you will get a fine if you deliver late, etc. So that's very much an agreement, definitely.
Yeah.
And one thing that difference also is the average order value or the quantity ordered per order. So many B2B companies, of course, have like a pre-season order, or they buy something that has to be made to order, and it's probably fewer items or a higher order value, and probably.
I think the rule of thumb is like this: in B2B commerce, you have a higher average order value, and you also have more order lines.
Yeah, definitely,
overall.
definitely, and perhaps less orders per month because you buy more in bulk.
Yeah. Next one is functions, and there are tons of functions that are really very relevant for B2B commerce that you never heard about in B2C. Quotation, custom unique pricing and assortment. You want to import a CSV file. You want to have limitations and make thresholds for how much different users can buy for, and then someone else has to approve it. The list can go on, but there are many functions that is very relevant to B2B, but that you never think about from a B2C perspective.
Yeah, and the last point in this episode, we'll keep talking later, is that the general business logic, of course, different. The business model is totally different. So in B2B, you will have things like the pre-season order we mentioned previously, and you will have different shipment or payment terms. It can be like 6 months payment terms, and you probably pay up front in consumer, and you work with split shipment, and you work with different delivery addresses. You buy something for the central distribution central, and you have different shops or work sites, etc., that you need to distribute. So there's a lot of changes in the business processes that your e-commerce platform also had to align with.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, and also feel free to reach out to me or Helena if you have questions about B2B, because we have done a lot of this and we have a lot of opinions, and perhaps we're not right all the time, but we're happy to take the discussion. Exactly.
But we have a lot of experience and have made a lot of mistakes and also some successful.
So if you wonder, you can call us and we can advise you if that's a good idea or something that we have failed on previously.
Yeah. Okay.
So
thank you for listening, and have a stellar Thursday.
Thank you.